My name's Emily Woodgate. I'm from DNV-GL Group Communications team, and I'm here with Elisabeth Tørstad, the CEO of DNV-GL's newest business area, Digital Solutions. We're here today to talk about the importance of technology and innovation, as well as industry collaboration and sharing of information and data for a sustainable energy industry going forward. Now, Elisabeth, you've worked across many of the sectors that DNV-GL serves, including the maritime industry, oil and gas, energy, and now heading up Digital Solutions. Could you tell us a little bit more about DNV-GL and the sort of digital offerings the company has?
Absolutely. But let me first say thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts through this webinar together with Arpel on the importance of technology, innovation and industry collaboration. These topics are really at the essence of what DNV-GL is working on and how we're working. We have a strong focus on innovation, being in the forefront of innovation, working across our businesses and industries to take learnings across and do that in collaboration with industry partners and other stakeholders. So I'm very happy to see the launch of the Innovat Arpel platform, to see that as an opportunity to share experience and work together. So DNV-GL is a world-leading company in offering solutions to manage risk and improving safety and asset performance across the maritime, oil and gas and energy industries, but also into healthcare industries and into food and providing food safety. All of these industries are increasingly digital, both the opportunities to save costs, to be more efficient, more sustainable in business, but also more digital threats, of course. So our digital solutions in DNV-GL is targeting at assisting our customers in these industries to grab the opportunities and to manage the risks associated with digitalization.
In DNV-GL's annual Energy Transition Outlook, we forecast that by mid-century, primary energy supply will be split roughly 50-50 between fossils and renewable energy sources. So when it comes to the oil and gas industry, it needs to intensify its focus on cost efficiency in order to remain competitive over this period. So what will be the role of innovation and new technologies in that transition?
So it's actually a dramatic shift in the whole energy landscape happening over the next 30 years. And one of the core mechanisms in this transition is the fact that the demand for energy is now decoupling from GDP increase and from population increase. So the demand for energy overall will lessen over the decades to come. And that drives a new competitive setting on the energy landscape, where oil and gas as well as renewable energy sources will fight over being the most cost efficient and most attractive resource from that perspective as well. So digitalization plays a role in this because digitalization is both one of the drivers for the reductions in energy demand, and it's of course one of the opportunities that we have to reduce the cost and to increase the efficiency of our energy consumption.
So DNV-GL is known for its role in sort of facilitating, driving industry collaboration and technology development and innovation. So could you tell us some more about the work you're doing on that front?
Yes, DNV-GL has always developed industry standards, rules, ways of working together with the industry in collaborative forums and use that to drive implementation of new technology, to enable new ways of working in the industries we are working. We invest around 5% of our annual revenues in research, and in addition to that we work on specific research programs with customers. So that is part of what's driving this positioning and supporting the industries and really becoming more efficient. It's important in the oil and gas energy sector. We also work with energy or with industry associations. We work with governments and regulatory bodies around the world, very often actually bringing learnings from one part of the world into other parts, as well as of course working with international associations. So we run a series of joint industry projects. That's also at the core of what we do in these collaborative areas. Through 2017, there were close to 100 joint industry projects in the oil and gas sector alone that we were driving together with our customers and regulatory bodies around the world.
What were some of those standout projects for you?
So one of the core projects for me last year was probably around cybersecurity in the oil and gas industry, because cybersecurity is an area where regulations and best practices, numerous ways of working with cybersecurity, but we're actually lacking one way of working with it in the oil and gas industry. And the result of that was that if you were following standards for cybersecurity, it would end up being very different how those were implemented through the value chain, and for an oil and gas operator to follow that up through their suppliers was extremely complicated. By bringing the industry together on setting the standard for information security and cybersecurity, we're able to drive efficient ways of following up and to making sure that we keep security in the operations.
When it does come specifically to oil and gas and digitalisation within oil and gas, some commentators have pointed out that that the industry has been slow to sort of reap the benefits of digitalisation. DNV-GL releases an oil and gas industry outlook, and in the outlook for 2018, we state that digitalisation is now starting to reach a tipping point, where 70% of respondents to the survey are saying that they need to embrace digitalisation to increase their profitability. So what do you think is driving this change in such a short period of time, and what potential for the industry does this bring?
Oh, there's a huge potential. I think that's what everyone is realizing. Actually, the oil and gas industry has been fascinatingly in different parts of different maturity levels at different parts of the operation when it comes to digitalization. You can see that in the drilling side, offshore drilling in particular, but also interpreting seismic data. I mean, that's big data in a nutshell, and the oil and gas industry has been very much in the driving seat and very advanced in using big data for seismic. On the other hand, for the strict operation and for the asset performance, and in so many ways where digitalization can play a role and does play a role, oil and gas industry has been behind a lot of other industries. And I think that's what we're starting to realize now, that as an industry we have the skills and we have the capabilities. We also have so much to learn from other industries actually, where the strict operation is more digitalized. And there's a huge opportunity to increase the efficiency, increase safety, and reduce costs by digitalization. So we're starting to see that just as a big wave actually coming now in the oil and gas industry.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any examples of projects that are starting to utilize digitalization in this way?
Yes, so let me share with you one example where you also show the importance of managing data quality, because in this big world of big data, we need to ensure that we manage the data and that they hold the right qualities. One of our first pilot projects actually working with big data was together with a drilling operator, where we were exploring how we could use predictive analytics with a components vendor and an analytics service company. We got 36 billion data points out of that project, and not one of them were according to the standards for data quality, and only 60% proved useful at all. So even if we have lots of big data in this industry, we need to make sure that we gather data in the right way and that we make the data useful. But after cleansing this data and actually working on the sources of the data, adding machine learning, we were able to detect drilling anomalies before they occurred, and resulting in actually 1 billion Norwegian kroner per year in saving potential for this drilling operator. So huge potential in big data, lots of opportunities to go wrong and actually not have the data you need and spend money gathering data of low quality, but also big saving opportunities.
And to summarize, Elisabeth, do you have any key points that you'd like to talk about around energy transition or digitalization, or anything else that Digital Solutions is focusing on right now?
Thank you. Well, first, let me again thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to emphasize that there is no single sort of silver bullet for the energy landscape that guarantees sustainable energy production for everyone in the future. The world will need a portfolio of energy, of technically sophisticated and very cost-efficient energy sources, and oil and gas will definitely be one of them or two of them. That will take action to create that cost efficiency on a global level. And collaboration in the sector is one of the core tools we have to reach these goals and to be efficient. Digitalization is both a key enabler for the technology, for the cost efficiency, but also for the collaboration. And I think the Innov at Arpel plays a really important role in unlocking the potential related to collaborating, to bringing technology forward, and to bringing the industry forward.
Great. Thank you for your time today, Elisabeth.